Hey, thanks for joining Tusken TV. This is Sam, and today I'm joined by Bub. And today this is going to be an episode, our Tusken TV, the Lazy Boy
First episode
podcast.
Episode one of one.
Episode one of many, or maybe one, depending on how this one goes.
Yep.
And we're going to be discussing some
various topics.
Some Star Wars topics.
Mandalorian episode.
Yeah. So we're
possibly the new stuff that was just announced like 2 days ago.
Oh yeah, we have to check that out and see how that's going. And we're attempting to do this little setup, and we're seriously sitting in Lazy Boys in front of the TV.
In front of the movie room.
So this is the Tusken TV. Actually, it's the Tusken Lazy Boy TV edition.
Yeah, the semi-biannual weekly podcast.
Yeah, so we're going to see how it goes. I'm not in a little studio. That's why you can hear a little bit of the echo.
Or the rustling of my blanket, because I'm just lying down here.
Yeah, so we're just hanging out, sipping on some cocoa, and we're going to jump right into this.
Why do you call it cocoa?
I don't know. I'm sipping on some hot chocolate, okay? And so we're just gonna jump into this, and we're gonna talk about a little bit of the Mandalorian.
You should probably put the volume low down, otherwise you get copyright striked immediately.
Oh, I'm not gonna actually play it or anything.
Yeah.
We're just gonna you can kind of see some of it. So, all right. So
no audio. We're just gonna make up our own story.
Yeah. So I'm sure everybody.
Wow, there's this orange lady here, and she's looking at the green boy, and is like, "Am I talking to you?"
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so we're gonna start with Chapter 9, which is Episode 1 of The Mandalorian, and so let's go ahead and just kind of discuss about
our thoughts.
Yeah, our thoughts about it. And I'm going to go down just a list. I'm going to let you go down the list right after I go down. So let me go first. I'm going to go down the list. So Chapter 1, I thought that was a pretty good episode. 1, you got Tusken Raiders. That's right. Plenty of Tusken Raiders on that. And it's pretty awesome to see them come out and do their thing.
It's a very strong beginning to a season.
It really is. And then Chapter 10, which was okay,
It was so average that I don't care.
Yeah, which one was that one anyway?
That's the one where they land on the ice planet, and there's this ice spiders, and there's the frog lady.
So that one wasn't too bad. The cargo thing, that was okay.
It was cool that they did bring that ice spider from the episode 5 concept art.
Yes, that was very cool. And then you jump over to Chapter 11,
which was pretty bad.
I mean, that's the one with all the
Bo-Katan
and stuff. I mean, a lot of people were excited to see Bo-Katan. I thought it was okay. That one to me felt like a far-reaching episode for some reason.
You, as a Clone Wars fan, didn't really like it. I, as a Clone Wars fan, didn't really like it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that like the Clone Wars stuff that love that because it introduced a lot of characters canon to the series. So
it's like I love Clone Wars, but it was such an anticlimactic way of introducing Bo-Katan to live action.
Yeah, I mean, I have no
attachment.
No attachment to that character, or so it wasn't a big deal.
As the person who has no idea what Clone Wars is, are you interested in that character appearing?
I mean, for me, not having a whole bunch into the Clone Wars, I was like, it's just another character. Yeah, and even then, it was kind of like they just jumped in and they jumped out. It was like
so way too short.
Yeah.
When the episodes usually are about 40-ish minutes, they could have easily had about 5 minutes, maybe exploring what the cult that Mando is part of, going into that backstory a little bit.
Yeah,
because Bo-Katan in the Clone Wars did used to work for Death Watch, and the cult that Mando is in seems to have ties to Death Watch, but the episode never mentions it.
Yeah, and if I remember right, that's the episode that Dallas Bryce Howard directed. Okay, so now that one, to me, that episode, there were some long segments into that. If you go back, I'm a big movie buff, and I love watching movies. I mean, Bub here, we both love watching movies.
Yeah.
And we spend a lot of time watching movies and watching Star Wars movies. That that's part of my personal
like how we did the 2 rewatches.
Yeah, we do a lot of rewatches of movies and a lot of cinema watches, and we're not experts, but we're definitely buffs on how cinematic.
We know probably a little bit more than most average people know
about how they were supposed to be shot, and
Or at least
in that one,
I think I do.
Just the directing of it, the storyline was good, but the directing of it, I was not impressed. There was the editing pauses were just way too long on some of them, and the dialogue wasn't there for me.
And it really wasn't. The action was very underwhelming.
Yeah.
It was just going corridor, shoot stormtroopers, proceed to the next doorway, and it's like you couldn't have done anything like unique, like maybe have it where they're doing a heist on the ship, but like flying up there with the jetpacks or something.
Yeah, and to me that was kind of that was odd. Like the whole battle scene at the end of that one was okay. It just was the acting in between.
Oh
was
yeah,
kind of weird.
All the stormtroopers just so happened to hit all the armor.
Yeah.
With them all firing on him. Not once did he get hit on the cloth, even though like most of his body is exposed.
Yeah. So granted, that's only the second episode she has done. Was it the third?
What? No, second episode. Bryce Howard.
Yeah,
Bryce,
yeah. So
the director.
Yeah. So that one's kind of weird. So then you jump over to chapter 12, which was the Mandalorian. In its I can't remember the title of that one in particular. Let's see.
It's the one where they like team up with Greef Karga and Cara Dune. That one was pretty fine. Like, it's not my favorite episode, but I'm fine with it.
Yeah, and apparently there's no license on it, but
it was cool seeing Greef Karga. I like him. I wish he appeared more. Cara Dune, I like. It was very middle of the road.
And I believe that's the one where they go and they
find the like tanks, and the guy is like, we need more M count or something.
Yeah, and I actually like that. It was Carl Weathers. That was his first episode.
I think
to direct. I believe, right?
Yeah, that was.
And to me, that one, that episode is really good. There's several things I really like about that episode. One, the action is shot really well. Two, the direction of how the actors, how the dialogue was back and forth. I love that about that episode.
Bringing back like the Mithril or whatever, the blue guy was kind of strange. Like,
I mean, I thought it was cool. I thought he played a good part in it. What I did notice, there's a lot of rookie mistakes, and for Carl Weathers, I think that's his first episode. I don't know if he's directed.
Oh yeah, like Admiral Jean Pants.
Yeah, so you had the Admiral Jean Pants.
Rest in peace.
And then you had what's that guy's name? I can't remember his name. The fish-looking dude. I can't remember that cat's name.
The Mithril.
Yeah, that guy. So Mithril, his character, if you noticed when you're watching
that's just his race.
Show, yeah. And I think that's what he's listed as his Funko Pop too.
I don't think he has a name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name at all. But if you notice during the episode, they forget to put his contacts in. So like, there's some scenes where he's got his contacts in, and there's some scenes where he doesn't, and it's pretty obvious. So you could tell there's a lot of director mistakes, but that's going to happen when you're
just production
in production. Yeah, but that particular episode, which was the Carl Weathers episode, was a good episode even with all of its mistakes. And to me, that was one of the stronger episodes. And right now we're kind of watching a little bit of highlights showing some of the other stuff from the season 1. And I really liked that episode. Actually, that was probably one of my favorite ones because it was like a good cop movie.
It gave a little bit of a teaser to the story.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with not doing like leaps and bounds and progressing the story, but just small little bits I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Now, chapter 13, this will be strange because, as said, you're not a Clone Wars fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a massive Clone Wars fan.
Let me close out that chapter 12.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I liked about that episode, it reminded me of like your typical good guy, good cop, bad cop type of feel to it, kind of like the buddy cop movies, like like Lethal Weapon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the way that really hit off, especially the scenes of Grogu, or at that time the child everybody calls Baby Yoda.
No, it's Gogurt. That's his name. It's Gogurt.
Little Gogurt.
I refuse to call him anything else.
But the scenes where they're flying, you remember the scenes they're flying up in the air, and he's like, "Hey." I actually kind of like that. He did a very good job of like being able to get children involved. You know what I mean? Keep the kids entertained and then adults entertained. So that's what I really liked about.
Oh yeah, and then there's the $50 macaroons.
Yeah,
the $50 macaroons.
The Jon Favreau disappointment macaroons that he had made, and he was kind of disappointed with Disney.
Yeah.
But for making him $50 at the parks, but That's besides the point. Yeah. And then we're going to chapter 13. All right,
chapter 13. You as a non-Clone Wars fan, me as a big Clone Wars fan. For me as a Clone Wars fan, I grew up watching that on Netflix, and it was kind of disappointing that this was Ahsoka's first live action debut. It was very just kind of okay, and the head tail things kind of just look cheap.
Now I know a lot of people talk about that, but this being her first appearance, there's gonna be drawbacks. There's gonna be people that don't like certain things about it, but I think they did a pretty decent job. Yeah, besides the costume, I thought they chose a good actor for it. Actress, I should say.
I'll have to get used to her, but she plays Ahsoka decently well. It's just hard to get used to a new voice after having Ashley Eckstein voice the character for 10 years.
I think that's the deal too. Is like everybody gets familiar with like a certain character and how they should look and whatnot.
It's different from taking a live action character and putting it in animation, and then doing an animated character and then taking them and putting them in live action. It's True. A little bit different in that in animation they've only ever appeared in one way, where in animation she's always had the longer head tail things, but now in live action they're all of a sudden basically shorter than she was at the beginning of Clone Wars. So it kind of just looks strange, and the voice is very different after she had played the character for 10 years.
Yeah.
And they look very foam-like, which is... there's only so much you can do, but I wish it was better. Because there's weird creases in it whenever it shouldn't be like that.
I think that's more of like a skin type of like crease. Like it was actually purposely done to be put in there. I don't think they put it in there to be smooth. Because if you're comparing that to a cartoon, it's totally different.
Even Shakti, whenever she was in live action, they were smooth. They didn't have the weird crease.
Well, yeah, that's true. Maybe that's just a special effects or the director's take on that. Because there's a lot of different things that you would think would have smooth or not have like ridges, and they actually put ridges in them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know. I thought it was. I still thought it was good. The only thing I didn't like about that episode,
there's a lot of awkward empty space.
Well, yeah, and I think the whole thing is Dave
Filoni.
Dave Filoni. He was going for that old samurai western pauses, and some of them were okay.
Yeah, but they were weirdly placed.
Yeah, some of what I think on old west. If you watch old westerns, I grew up on old westerns, and I grew up on old karate. the Saturday morning kung fu flicks and samurai movies. I really did. I remember eating pizza and go down to Shakey's, and my dad would take me down there and we watched like a Saturday morning kung fu flicks at the all you can eat buffet pizza place. And I just remember those long pauses. Of course, you'd have like 2 seconds of dialogue, and then you would have them standing still for like 5 seconds, and then they would just automatically start fighting. And that's kind of like what they did with that episode. But there were there were some long segments in there that you were like, why did they go
like the one so bodyguard guy talking to Mando? Yeah, that was like just very weirdly spaced.
It was. I understand what they're going for. They're going for that westernized shootout, and like. It's something's gonna happen. He's gonna pull a gun or whatever. They were going for that kind.
But it was so obviously or not televised, but what's the word?
Like just the placement of it, or just edited.
No, or it was it was obviously that he was going to pull a gun out, so it just felt like very drawn out to reach a conclusion that you already knew was going to happen.
Yeah, it's kind of like just one of those things they want to pull. They want to draw it out there, like who's going to pull it first. Like, is the bad guy going to pull it first? Is the man going to be able to do a little move or something like that to get missed? But I thought that episode was. It was. Out of a 10, what did you give it?
5. The problem is, so far the show has just been so very middle of the road average. Nothing that's really made me lose my mind, but nothing that's really made me upset. So it's just very hard to have. It's like trying to have an opinion on something that's very milquetoast.
I don't know. I have to disagree. I think there's a lot of good changes they've done so far.
No, but so far this season has just felt like, oh, what crappy fan service of the week can we do today? And it's just it kind of rings hollow. And I've seen a lot of people kind of be like, oh, I can't believe Ahsoka or Bo-Katan or whatever is in it, but it's like, this is exactly what happened with Episode 7. Everyone, when Episode 7 came out, was like, oh, it has Han and Chewbacca, and then there's the music, but it's like, Episode 7 was very empty and didn't really have much in it, and I feel like this might end up becoming something very similar.
I don't think so, because you can have a lot of episodes, and you have hopefully a lot more seasons to come after that, and you have spin-offs that are probably going to happen, so you're just getting these characters.
Oh yeah, like how they turned all of Season 2 into basically an advertisement.
Kind of, but I like it, but we're going to jump onto those other ones here in a minute. So, from Chapter 13, we go to 14, and that's where
Boba made his appearance again in live action.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go skipping out real quick.
That was.
And what is that actor's name again? I can't.
What, Boba Fett's actor?
Yeah,
Tamora Morrison.
Tamora. Yeah, so I'm sorry guys, I'm like not really good with some of the names for the characters.
Yeah, or actors.
I mean, but.
It was cool seeing Tamora Morrison back as Boba Fett.
Okay,
but there's there's a few problems I have with it. The action scenes, like, yeah, it's cool seeing Boba Fett kill stormtroopers and use the gaffy stick, but now it just feels like, what's the point of using the stormtroopers anymore? I don't feel anything whenever a stormtrooper is on screen. It's like, it's so kind of just low stakes, and don't get me wrong, it's cool seeing Boba Fett in live action, but he's like, I'm gonna stay with you to find the child, but Boba Fett doesn't really seem like a character that would do that. Because Boba Fett is a ruthless bounty hunter.
Okay, so that's a whole nother thing. So if we want to go back to like the ethics and stuff like that of like Boba and like, you know, the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, and Mando never goes and gets his jetpack, even though that seems very important.
You would eventually think you would. I don't know about that. So this episode, so you have Boba who like kind of like
the Dark Troopers.
You can tell
are cool,
he's changed like his mind about certain things. I mean, maybe like his near death experience has changed.
Yeah,
the
but
way he runs.
The episode doesn't.
They don't explain that. They don't explain it, but I think they will. Kind of like with the Mandalorian, they don't explain. They don't say why he changed his mind. You just know he changed his mind once it gets. You know,
no, but they don't ever. They don't ever like show Boba experiencing that.
Well, they probably won't. That hopefully they will.
They have to, because then it's just a characterization changing his characterization to fit the plot.
Yeah, there's no development,
and not having the plot fit the character.
I'm hoping they have some more development on him. I want to know how he escaped from the Sarlacc pit.
He ate his way out. That's why he has the gut.
Yeah.
He ate the way out of the Sarlacc. And that's why he's a little bit bigger.
And that's another thing. A lot of people were hating on him because they said he looked like he's bigger. I'm telling you, when I saw him, I was like, "There's no way either that was a stunt double or the robes or whatever."
If you go back, whenever he twirls the Jango's pistol, which I'm like 99% sure that's modified Jango's pistol, you can see he's not that big.
Yeah.
So it was probably just the angling of that shot.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like particular episode was shot with multiple different cameras, and if you watch that episode, they use an anamorphic lens on it. And what an anamorphic lens does, and to me, this is what happened when they shot this episode. Anamorphic lenses are designed to expand and contract on certain shots, and so what it almost looked like is they forgot to decompress certain shots of it, and you can really tell when there's explosions because you see the bars on the outside of the frame. On an anamorphic lens, the only reason you see bars on the outside of a frame is one, either it's an artistic take on it, or two, you don't decompress it. And what that means, when you don't decompress it, the full file of the image doesn't fully fit the screen, and so it gives you a weird shaping of the images. And I think that's what we saw in here, and you can really tell. I want to go to
there, he's not that big.
Yeah, you can tell when he walks off, and there's certain parts of the fighting scenes that you can actually see.
I like the pistol twirl. It's like what Jango did in episode 2.
Yeah, and so like right now we have it pulled up on
Attack of the Clones, because we're calling these episodes, but then the movies are episodes.
Yeah, so right now we're kind of watching a little bit.
We're skipping through a little bit.
Yeah, skipping through a little bit of some of the fight scenes so we can kind of see what was happening.
It's stupid that Mando decided to try and grab Baby Yoda 3 different times.
I still don't understand that part. I understand, but I don't. He's trying to get to him.
It's because the director was given a 19-page script and was told fill it with action.
So like right there, see where it's like, you see you'll see it when the stormtroopers come in. the bars on the side.
They really need to make stormtroopers better, because at that point, what are stormtroopers used for?
Stormtroopers are kind of like the human shield on South Park. Send them out, let them all die. That's pretty much what they would do.
No, but it's like they need to make new ground soldiers that are a little bit more threatening. Because when it's just them killing dozens of stormtroopers, it's like I don't feel anything, you know. Which is why they should have had the Dark Troopers appear at the end, but have the Dark Troopers beat them, so that instantly shows the Dark Troopers are going to be the next big threats, so that you know what the Dark Troopers mean. And it's they just beat they just beat Boba Fett, and we saw Boba Fett take out 7 guys with 1 rocket, so that means they mean business.
You know what? In this episode.
Oh yeah, and they continue to just shoot the armor.
Yeah, he shoots the armor. I'm like, how did they shoot the armor? They're not that good of a shot, but thank God they did.
They need. There's one explanation that they could do for why it always hits the armor, but until they don't explain it, it's a problem.
In one of the best scenes where Boba comes out and he backhands that dude in the face.
Yeah, that's Jango's pistol. Yeah, that has to be, because it has the same handle. The only thing is that it looks like it has a scope.
That scene right there, everybody was talking about that scene right there. The way he was standing and stuff like that, like he had a gut.
He doesn't have that much of a gut.
Nah. And then people are shaming him for that. I mean, to me, that's totally wrong.
I mean, I just make fun of it because I just think it's a little funny, but I don't care as long as Boba's being cool.
Yeah, I think, dude, I could care less. Man, Boba, you could have been on there 350 pounds and you could have had stretch marks and broken your suit, and I still would have loved seeing him on the screen. Because, I mean, that's how long we've waited for. I mean, so... I thought it was awesome because see, look, right in that scene right there, as soon as you switch from that one scene to the other one.
Yeah, he looks fine.
And it was just maybe his stance or the way he had his back arched or something.
In the next episode, he looks fine too.
Yeah. So you can't tell. I mean, it could have been the stunt double or his stunt person doing it. But, I mean, come on.
It doesn't really seem like it.
And I can't really show you these guys this, but...
Oh, yeah, because we'll get a copyright strike.
Yeah, so we're just playing it through.
Well, and you already have a copyright strike, right?
I did, but it was for a song, and it's not like it, demonetized anything. It doesn't matter. I don't have that many people watching right now anyway, so... I mean, but, man, okay, so this is the first episode. You got to see him shoot the
knee rockets, which was something in Legends for years, but never shown.
And you never got to see that. So
I always wondered as a kid, what are those weird dot things on the armor?
I thought was great about this episode is you actually got to see the Boba actually do something besides get be a slapstick or
he has done stuff in other media, but a lot it hasn't been in live action.
Live action,
because he was in Clone Wars, but a lot of time he was just kind of like a kid in Clone Wars. But then they cut all the episodes that he would have been traditional Boba Fett in, because Disney is stupid. Oh yeah, we're gonna cancel this very popular Star Wars show and then reboot it for just one more season.
And let me let you guys understand, we love Disney, but then also sometimes we hate Disney for some of the decisions they do.
I will say when they do something right, but I will also not or how do I word this? But I'm not going to back down from saying whenever they did something stupid. The sequels, I will fully say I like Rogue One. So far, I've been kind of middle of the road on Mando. I'll watch Mando, but it's not currently my all-time favorite thing. But with sequels, that's not a discussion we want to bring up now.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that because this thing, this whole episode goes south real quick. Yeah, when he starts talking about that.
We will talk about it inevitably. It's inevitability.
It's inevitable.
It's going to happen. Inevitable.
But The Mandalorian is probably one of my favorite things. I think it's probably one of the better things they've came out with since the prequels, to be honest with you. Rogue One was good, but this is better than
Rogue One is very much a case of the first half of the movie being okay, and then the second half of the movie being so cool that it makes the first half better.
I will say this is the only show I've been excited to watch every week in a long time, probably since The Walking Dead when it first came out. And when Walking Dead first came out, I used to love that show, and then it kind of just went downhill after Negan, but that's just my personal taste. And I haven't seen an episode since they introduced Negan.
And then they killed off the one kid or whatever.
Yeah, so I don't even know about that stuff. But going back to Mandalorian and talking about that chapter 14, so there's a lot of scenes that you get to see, him
Boba
do a lot of
some stuff.
Boba do some Django moves, you know.
The gun twirl.
That gun twirl and puts it down.
Oh, those,
that was rad.
Those drop ships are actually Empire versions of the drop ships that are used in Episode 7.
Oh, yeah. They are, aren't they?
Yeah. I like
boy, but when he comes walking up like that, man, you're thinking, boy, he's one bad. Don't say that.
I like the belt he has with the slugs on him.
And then his armor, like, just to see his armor, like, all beat up and stuff like that.
Just to see
that rocket
the
up.
armor again in live action.
On the dude. I mean, there's a lot of things like 501st people are going to be all over about this costume because, like, it's a whole new outfit.
Yeah, you're going to see it everywhere.
I mean, everywhere. So now you have, like, multiple renditions. You have this, and we'll talk about that one in a second because you have this rendition, which is totally different from
his robes version.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. There goes all the people in the back. The HasLab.
Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started on that Razor Crest. When the Razor Crest gets blown up, you're like, oh my gosh! All that money those dudes spent on
the HasLab.
Yeah, the HasLab, the
vintage
Hasbro
collection one.
Oh my gosh! When I saw that, I was like, oh, that was the coolest ship while it lasted, right?
Yep. Was the pulse rifle in there?
Yeah, that's the whole thing that I saw somewhere, and the guy was talking about that.
Because we haven't seen it since.
Yeah, the pulse rifle was in the ship.
Which is kind of disappointing, because it would have been cool, like, maybe it survived, but if it is still around, which it doesn't seem like it is, it would be cool to see Boba use the pulse rifle, because that design originated from Boba in the holiday special.
Yeah, that would be...
So it would be cool to see him use that rifle.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Plus, the pulse rifle is just a cool weapon.
But at the end of this episode, you get to see...
the Dark Troopers.
Yep, they come down.
They look more like Death Troopers than their original Legends counterpart. Plus, they look a lot more robotic and not as beefy as the Legends version.
If anybody's listening to this podcast or listening to the YouTube cast...
If this is just us yelling in the void...
Hey, yeah, but if you're listening, Disney... give me some of those zombie Death Troopers, man. Give me some of those.
No, that would require them to make something that's not for 5-year-old kids.
I mean, they could make a whole horror section after that, like do like the Vader's castle. We've talked about that.
Oh yeah,
before.
I've talked about my idea.
Yeah.
That could probably be an episode just by itself.
Yeah, I think that'd be such a cool idea.
But the Dark Troopers are pretty cool to see, but I think they should have had the Dark Troopers appear earlier in the episode. And then establish how strong the Dark Troopers are, so that in future episodes, and you see them again, you're like, that's bad news. Because as of now, they're just kind of robots that appeared for a few seconds and then flew away.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, okay, we're back into this episode 14, when you see the Slave One. Oh, when you see Slave One come out.
That's an offensive word. You can't say that.
We'll edit that out of the video.
Yeah,
but the ship, Slave One.
Bleep it.
But the ship, Boba's ship, Slave One. When you see him come out and you see that appear on the screen,
that's the first time we've seen that ship in 35 years.
Yeah, when you see it come up, and see him fly up to Moff Gideon's ship.
That's a Legends design.
Yeah, I mean it's a cool one when you get to see that from the bottom. It's pretty awesome. But when you see that ship, you're like, what? It was so rad to see it. I love that part.
You would think Boba would be happy that his old employers are back. But instead, they're like, nah, he doesn't like it.
I think he might be done with them. You know what I mean? Because, like, I don't think...
No, but again, it hasn't been shown. So, as of now...
Yeah, I want to know. Did he ever get paid?
The only way we can base it... so far, the only way we can base Boba's characterization is what's shown. There you go. And so far, what's shown... Boba's characterization in Mandalorian is different than how he was shown in Empire and Return of the Jedi.
And one thing I'm going to go back
Even though he wasn't shown too much, you can understand just by the way he acts and talks and what he says. You can get a general idea of what he would be like. Mm-hmm. But in here, it's like, I'm unconvinced on Boba. Just as of now, I want to like him because I've wanted to see him in live action ever since I was 5, watching Return of the Jedi and see him fall into the Sarlacc pit, being like, why did he do that, George Lucas? But I also have a feeling they might kill him off and then give the Slave One to Mando.
I really hope they don't do that.
Because if they did that, I'd probably stop watching the show. Because it's like, I don't want them to bring Boba back. and then just kill him off immediately afterward, and then give Boba's hand-me-downs to the other characters. It's like, no, I want to see Boba back, and I want to see him back for a while.
Yeah, at least give him, I'm going to say give him at least till...
What, like, maybe, like, give him, like, 4 or 5 seasons?
Oh, I don't know. That might be too long.
How would that be too long?
I don't know. Give him his own show.
Maybe a show?
Yeah, I can see them totally doing that. Because I would watch that show.
Well, what would That'd it be cool. Really about?
I don't know, man. We'll just we're gonna let the people decide.
What, the people that made episode 8 decide?
No, we're gonna let the people who made this show decide.
So far, the show's been kind of.
You're crazy. He's talking crazy talk.
I'm not.
So that particular episode, that was directed by Robert Rodriguez.
Spy Kids 3.
Yeah, Spy Kids 3.
And did he do Lava Boy or Lava Girl and Shark Boy?
Yeah, Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Netflix is making a sequel to that, and I hate it.
And he also did a Grindhouse videos. He's known for a lot of other really good films that I like. I like there's Planet Terror. I love that one. That's a good one. I believe that was his movie. But Robert Rodriguez does a really good job, and I actually like the way it's shot. And he's well known for taking scenes and shooting them in Texas. So I want to know if he actually shot some of those things in Texas. Some of that scenery looks like it's Texas. Yeah.
I feel like I feel like we've drove past that hill.
We probably could have, yeah, because it does look very much like Texas to me, and he's known for shooting in Texas.
What if that's just his backyard?
Hey, it could be. He shot one whole movie in his neighborhood.
It does not surprise me.
So that was kind of, nice.
Yeah. Really treat the viewer.
Yeah, we're not going to edit that out. He really did. So we're going to go on to episode 15. So this is episode 8, chapter 15 out of the whole Mandalorian series, and this is a
more Mayfield return.
This is Mayfield's returning.
I would like to say is that when Mayfield first appeared, I was kind of like, he's okay, but I don't really care for him. So if this was his last appearance, I would not care. This episode actually made me begin to like Mayfield because it developed him a little bit more, because it shows, or it doesn't like outright say, but it heavily implies that he does seem to have some form of like anxiety or PTSD from the Empire, and that was a very interesting scene to where you see him kind of rock back and forth, and you very clearly see he wants to kill the dude, and he just gets up and shoots him.
Yeah, because he's starting to have that mental break, and that's one thing I was going to say I liked about this episode. They somehow made like the one side character an interesting character, and I hope he appears more. They made him interesting, and they humanized his like decisions. Like they humanized the way he was acting.
Where he says like, "You're living lucky if you can sleep well at night."
Exactly, and there's a lot of things that I really liked about Mayfield, and I like Bill Burr as a comedian.
Yeah,
I mean sometimes he's kind of a little bit nuts and goes off the wall a little bit, because remember we were listening to him last night,
listening to him.
Or the other night. I mean I don't subject him to all Bill Burr stuff, and I think it was just like a podcast I was listening to.
I was just kind of standing waiting around.
Yeah, it was like Joe Rogan. I was painting some stuff.
I keep getting Joe Rogan ads.
Probably because I was listening to that the other night.
No, I got them before because Spotify is doing a big push.
Oh, I can believe that. I have Spotify. I listen to a couple of his.
Oh, those cranes.
Those are cool.
I'm pretty sure it's either unused concept art or George Lucas said something where he, like, whenever he was driving, he saw these crane things which inspired the AT-ATs or the AT-ATs, whichever way you want to pronounce them. They're pronounced AT-ATs. But I'm pretty sure that might be based off of that.
If you notice that, look at what that's actually a steering wheel. That's a steering wheel. That's an old steering wheel they modified to a drill.
Oh yeah, it is. That's just a race car steering wheel.
Yeah, that's all he did.
It's a race car steering
If you watch it, that's all he has is a steering wheel.
I like how they're breaking down TIE fighters and old junk.
It's very cool to show them in these as prisoners. It's kind of weird because now you're seeing these old Empire guys as prisoners,
and you see the New Republic, and the episode kind of brings up something. Empire, New Republic, it's the same, because even though the New Republic are the good guys, they still have slave camps.
Yeah, so they still have working there. Yeah, so they still have prison.
So they're really not much.
Changed.
They're not much different from the Empire, who enslaved the Wookiees on Kashyyyk and had them work in factories.
Yeah, it's just kind of like whoever perceives who is the bad guy. Yeah, it's just whoever's whoever.
So I think that'd be interesting if they went a little bit more into that.
Mm-hmm. I think it's cool. I think it's cool how they've changed like.
That's the first. Isn't that like the first live action appearance of like Zeb's species?
Yeah, and he's like in what was that? New Hope, right?
Who
was it? The New Hope?
No, Zeb is from the Star Wars Rebels show.
Yeah, but that didn't they do that in a reshoot? Mm-hmm. Was it a reshoot or was it an add-on to the New Hope?
What was
that Zeb character?
No, Zeb is based off of old concept art from Chewbacca.
Yeah. But didn't he have like that character design pretty similar to one of the movies? I thought they did.
I don't think so. Or I
could be wrong.
Boba with the fresh drip.
Yeah, looking, he's super fly, man. He's got those new covers on
the stripes on the side of the helmet are actually different.
Yeah,
they're red now, not yellow.
Yeah, a lot of different things. He's got like.
I prefer the kind of old busted up look. Personally,
I like the new threads. I like how they covered his tubes with the black cloth. If you notice it,
they're black.
With his flamethrower stuff.
He now has the cable, probably.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Oh, he repaired the jetpack.
Yeah, it's totally new.
It doesn't have the slab on the back anymore.
Yeah, it's totally like brand new looking. And
I like his. I like the new look, but I prefer the kind of like a little bit more battle worn design. But the new look with the deeper green and a little bit of a brighter shade of red looks pretty cool too.
And that one was called The Believers. So this was that was one of the first episodes. That's the first episode where you see
the inside of Slave One.
Yeah, inside of Slave One and how the internal parts work and how it moves around.
How it's like kind of like this weird circling thing.
Yeah, and that was cool to see that.
Is that wait? How does that work though? Because the Slave One is a kind of weird shaped thing. So
yeah,
does it make it where that thing is turning to right side down? Up or something?
Yeah, I think it turns downward.
You're not really shown too much of what the Slave One looks like.
Yeah. On
the inside. But it is cool to see what the inside of that ship is.
Yeah, so what was your take on this episode?
It's another kind of average episode, but I like Mayfeld a lot. I like how it kind of delves a bit more into his character and how it mentions Operation Cinder, which is from, I believe, Star Wars Battlefront 2, where Operation Cinder was the equivalent of Emperor Palpatine saying, if I can't have it, you can't have it. And I think he used like these super weapon things that were used to like burn the surfaces of planets and destroy cities, which is mentioned here where Mayfeld's like mentions how his entire group got killed in that city or something. Huh. Yeah, so that was that's cool that they're kind of tying into that game, even though that game was kind of bad at launch.
Now, they talk about, there's a couple of, he says something about, what does he talk about?
A mining city.
Yeah, and so this is, I can't remember this guy's last name worth a darn.
Who?
But this is, the director of this episode was, oh my god, I would like totally kill his last name. His first name is Rick.
Rick.
And he directed one of the episodes in the first season as well as this one. And I believe he directed, so he directed Dope, and he directed Talk to Me and Brown Sugar and The Wood back in the day. And let me see. He's done a lot of work. Yeah, Dope was one of them. But he did a great job on this episode. I think he also directed the heist episode, if I remember right, one with the prison break.
That's probably why Bill Burr is back.
Yeah, so I believe he directed that video. I mean, that episode as well. So I thought this was a really good one. This is.
I just noticed Cara Dune has that Republic thing on her belt.
Yeah, she's wearing her badge. It's like her badge, right? It's like she's like a marshal now.
I didn't notice that before.
So
can't wait for Black Series to make that. $20 for a new badge.
Yeah. So this episode's pretty similar to the heist video almost. You go in
heist episode.
They go in. You know, the jailbreak episode, heist episode. They go in behind enemy lines to get this information, and they got to get out real fast. That's pretty much what he did on his episode, where he goes behind enemy lines.
Then the big part of this episode happens. Mando takes off the helmet. Now, I have a big problem with this.
Go ahead.
Because this flies directly into the face of what Mando's group is. And the episode just kind of kind of like just skips past that, whereas like if does this mean Mando has left the cult? Does he just no longer care or whatever? Because he takes off the helmet and he gets seen by a lot of people, but they kill all of them. But Mayfeld still saw them. So
yeah, I think with this episode, you're seeing him take off the helmet because Boba doesn't have his, and he learned from the other one that hey, you don't.
Unless this movie becomes a part of Mando's story arc where he like kind of ditches his cult-like ways or whatever. Yeah, but as of now, I'm kind of like a little on it because episode 1 or season 1 made a very big deal about how you cannot take off your helmet. But then in this one, he's just like, I'm going to take it off, scan it. Plus, how come the terminal scans him and like just lets him access it?
You know what? That's what I was wondering. Like, are they just scanning for an ID?
Yeah, because if
his face is it going to be in your computer system? Like, well, are they going to know who opened it? I mean, they're going to know who opened it and scanned the files.
Well, he blew up the whole thing unless there's a Star Wars internet.
Yeah.
Is there a Star Wars internet? Because I've heard like there's one YouTuber I follow and he has like a joke, but I don't know if that's like real or I don't know. I do like the new clone armor, the kind of like gray armor.
But there was
not clone stormtrooper.
Now there's one scene I thought was cool. Yeah, when they do the clone troop, when they get into the tanker troopers, these guys, it's like and what's cool about this one, it's a modified. So you have the tanker helmet with the mud trooper armor. So that was pretty cool. So now, first people, now you can take your mud trooper and your tanker helmet, and you can switch them out. So you can have two.
Can't wait for Black Series to make these.
I do like it when he's sitting in the tanker. He's just sitting real stiff.
Yeah.
He's just like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you, Mayfield. Just do what you're supposed to do.
I don't really like the idea of Star Wars vehicles having tires, because like they have hover technology. You know.
Yeah. But I do like it. I like how they have different aspects. They have that like more of the beach and roaming around and stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
So I thought that was cool.
One thing I do like though is how it kind of has a little bit more of it shows a little bit of the Empire and how like all the stormtroopers are celebrating or whatever. Yeah. Where it kind of treats the Empire as a little bit like good guys.
Yeah.
Where they're all saying like glory to the Empire.
Yeah, because they all like cheering for each other, like, hey, you made it through, and then he's feeling good. Until he goes inside
and sees the one guy.
Yeah, and he starts explaining what's happening. Like, we're going to use that to blow up a lot more people. And then, so he kind of flips out. So whenever he says one thing, I don't know if you noticed, when he says, "Hey, we got to fill out those TPS reports."
TPS reports.
Yeah. So like, and there's a movie. I don't know how many people are sticking around for this podcast, but there's an old movie called The Office. I think it's Office Space. Yeah, it's called Office Space, and there's a guy that walks around the corner. He's like, "Yeah, I need to get those TPS reports in my office real soon. So if you can, I really appreciate that."
That's where that meme is from.
Yeah, so like the TPS reports, I don't know if Bill Burr put that in like to like put a little nod to Office Space.
It's canon to Star Wars now.
Yeah, so now like, hey, Office Space is now canon to Star Wars. So
no TPS reports.
Yeah, if you can just get that Mandalorian helmet and put that back on, that'd be great. Yeah. But I thought, for me, what do you think about that episode?
It's another average episode.
I thought the episode,
as I said earlier, it's very just average.
I like this episode a lot because you get a very humanized version of a character.
I do like the more in-depth look at Mayfield.
Yeah, I like that one too. And then, of course, at the end, he gets his revenge and blows everything up, and they fly off, and everything's all groovy. And I can't remember.
Even though in that he kills like probably 1,000 people.
Hey, at least it doesn't show it blowing up; it just shows like the stuff blowing up. So.
But there was very clearly people inside of there.
True.
So he probably killed at least 100.
I'm gonna say they're robot people. They're robots. They're clones.
That's not how clones work. Clones very are people, because as shown in Clone Wars.
Well, I'm going to say...
Yeah, but you as a non-Clone Wars fan.
Yeah, I mean, but I can't wait till the next episode. So how many episodes we got left? We only have this one more episode. One.
So it's like, there's not... Unless it's going to be another hour-long episode, which I really doubt, as the episodes this season have been really short. I feel like the next episode will be a cliffhanger. I feel like it's going to leave off on a season cliffhanger.
I hope so.
Because
I hope it leaves me wanting more.
What can you really do, because if you have it where just Mando takes the child back from Moff Gideon, it's like, again, you're just starting at square one again, and it's like you're back at where you already were at at the beginning of season 2, because he's still on his mission to try and find a Jedi. So it's like, if he does get Baby Yoda next episode, it'll just be, oh, I got you from Moff Gideon. Anyways, let's continue where we left off on Typhon. And it's like, I don't want them to just instantly go back to the status quo whenever last season was spent trying to find a Jedi, and then he got caught by Moff Gideon, you know?
Yeah, I definitely want to see some, like, movement forward. I want to see some different changes going on, so... and
I hope they have a twist where they mention the bounty, where not that many people really have been looking for Mando. I hope a twist is the reason that Boba was helping them was Boba will, like, betray them and be like, this Empire still wants you. So
yeah,
I hope that might be why. Yeah. Like, that might be the explanation as to why he was willing to help look for Baby Yoda.
Gogurt.
No, Gogurt. Yeah, Gogurt.
So I think we're going to wrap it up, because we're looking at 45 minutes on this podcast. Minutes. So, yeah, it's a long one.
I've been enjoying this talking.
Oh, yeah, it's great talking.
What time is it?
So it is now 9 o'clock.
I can go to 3 a.m. So.
Oh, my gosh. We're going to stop this episode right now.
We're in this TV area, and it's very weird.
Yeah.
Like, I'm stuck without... this was not my choice. I was dragged into this.
What, to come up here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we had to move it from, like, the little studio area to up here. And, like, if you can hear his chair moving around, it's because he's moving around.
Yeah, if anyone in the comments, if anyone does complain about the noise, I'm just going to do it more. So
nice. Join us next time. We're going to talk a little bit
about the semi-annual, bi-weekly Lazy Boy podcast. I guess that's the name.
Yeah, the Tusken TV Lazy Boy podcast.
All right.
It's going to be the Tusken TV podcast, but this is the Lazy Boy episode. So,
any passing thing? Oh, I'm going to shill for my, what is it, like, is it Etsy or Facebook? My capes.
Oh, okay. So, hey, if you guys are interested, man, hit me up on...
I make cloth custom capes for 6-inch and 3-inch Mandalorian. It doesn't matter which one.
Yep, and they're awesome customs. We've sold quite a few, and you can check that out at the Etsy store. I might put that in the link.
I need more money so I can fuel my plastic addiction.
And we both have that. And or you can hit me up on Instagram, and that's Tusken TV.
Preferably
on Instagram.
Preferably me, because I'm the better one.
Yeah, so it's...
If anyone is interested in my stupid opinions, go to my Instagram account, easy to rename. I post stuff every now and then. Sometimes I post like a Batman animated movie. Other times I'll just not post anything for 15 years.
Or you can go to Tusken TV, and I always post toys and hunts that we're doing. And Bub and I will be out hunting for toys in the future again too.
Yep, still looking for that
sound wave. Still looking for the sound wave, so, you know,
of course, they put the good sound wave in the Walmart exclusive.
I always remember, keep your fingers crossed, your eyes peeled, because we're out on a hunt.
I'm your good luck charm.
And he's my good luck charm. And always remember, treat people well, do good things.
Yeah, we gotta.
Peace out.
I think that went horribly.